Welcome to the wood shop, where creativity meets craftsmanship, and sometimes complete chaos. Today, we're gonna get into one of the most heated debates in woodworking: to clean or not to clean. On one side, we've got the tidy types who swear by a spotless shop. They say a clean workspace means safety, efficiency, and a clear mind. And honestly, who doesn't love knowing exactly where your chisels are when you need them? And on the other side, we've got the creative clutter crew who argue that a bit of a mess is part of the process. They believe that sawdust, covered floors, and scattered tools are signs of a job well done, and maybe even a source of inspiration. So, which is it? Does cleanliness spark productivity, or does a little chaos fuel creativity? Stick around as we break it all down, exploring the pros and cons of both approaches. Whether you're team clean or team chaos, we're about to uncover the truth behind the mess. Okay, how great was that script? I just got ChatGPT to write it. This is insane. This thing's, the friggin' AI is amazing, man. It just like pumped this out in like a millisecond. It would have taken me all day to write this damn. I want to hear from you in the comments whether you keep a tidy shop or a messy shop, and how exactly that fuels your creativity. This is a creative environment. The bottom line is you're productive, you're creative, you're having a good time. You created this shop. This is your cathedral of creativity. So why is it clean? Why is it messy? I'm really fascinated to find out. If you're having trouble keeping your shop clean, I'm gonna give you some tips. And I hope they help you. They help me. When I put out the word I was doing a video on cleaning, Giraffe Tools came to the rescue and sent me this awesome new vacuum. We're gonna send you this wall-mounted retractable vacuum, and why don't you check that out and see if it helps you clean your shop. So they delivered it a few days later, and I dragged it down the stairs, and I went through the mounting procedure. And now that it's mounted, let's see if it helps me clean this area. So I have the vacuum installed now. It's mounted on the wall as firmly as I can get it. So the main problem that a vacuum like this solves is it's off the ground. It solves that problem of obstructing your ground and taking up a lot of your precious floor space by having it mounted on the wall. And then the hose is quite genius as well. You've got a retractable hose. It's 30 feet, so it covers an enormous amount of area. And it retracts very easily. So you pull it out, you pause, and then it stays, and then you pull it, and it goes back in, right? That's the basic theory of operation. When you get the vacuum, you get 6 different cleaning attachments. You've got your fine crevice tool, and you've got a more of a focused vacuum. I always find that these ones create way better suction than the normal pipe. You've got 2 brushes, a wide and a smaller one. And then you've got 2 floor sweeps. So you've got this one that's on rollers, and you've got one that actually has a brush on it as well, but it's a bit of a stiffer rubber brush. Okay, this section of the video is can you tell I'm Canadian? Oh. Now I'm gonna switch over to this little rubber squeegee thing, see if we can get the wall a little bit better. The last thing to talk about is this vacuum has a 30-foot hose. So if you're in a 60 by 60 space, you can conceivably get every corner with this thing. Let's just go to full capacity. See what happens. There's also the pros and cons of this system. Every foot of hose of this type actually diffuses pressure and diffuses the power of your vacuum. So a 30-foot hose is actually doing a lot of diffusion. It might be a bit of a trade-off. I can actually feel it. It's definitely not as strong as a shop vac, but it's strong enough to do some light duties in the shop. What's this substance right here? This is the most precious substance in your space, is empty floor space. Have at least 2/3 of your shop empty floor space. Do not, I repeat, do not fill up your shop with endless tables and machines and you can't get through anywhere. You need floor space. And this was something that I discovered and it was reinforced by other people, and it served me well. And I had to go through just insane, every day in my previous shop was a battle to maintain that floor space, to the point of throwing out stuff like you wouldn't believe. And it always served me well. It always gave me a space to move around, and if I need to lay something on the floor, you need that space. 2/3 of the space should be empty. Tip number 2, corners. Always think about your corners. See this corner here? I could see into the corner. I can see all the baseboards in the corner. And I like that. But you can see right now, this corner is starting to get invaded by stuff. I've got all these friggin' clamps. I've got these clamping cauls and forms that I've made. I've got some wood invading the space. And this corner is being invaded. And you do not want your corners to be invaded. You want your corners as clean as possible. We're gonna check out some other corners and see if they're being invaded. Okay guys, we got a full-scale corner invasion here. I wanna see this corner. I like to see this corner, and I got a bunch of crap. Now I have to, every single day, I wake up and that's all I think about in the morning is how the fuck do I get, how do I get the stuff out of the corner? I want to be able to see the corners. Just nice, clean corners corners are next to God as far as, I know it sounds weird and finicky, but don't fill up your corners. Try and keep your corners clear. There's nothing is more beautiful than a perfectly clean corner. I'll leave it at that. Just the corner. It improves your mental. You know what I mean? It's like a corner is just like that junk in your mind that's slowing you down. Like, you have to have a clean corner and it will improve everything for you. Just trust me on this. Just try it. Tip number 3 is floor obstructions. The more stuff you can have mounted on the wall, the better. Look at, say I'm trying to, there's tons of stuff coming off the bandsaw, right? I'm trying to sweep in here. I got to sweep around this. There's dust in between here. If this was gone, see, I got a nice clean sweep. It's that much faster. If I have to sweep around an object, it's absolutely ridiculous. So just the cleanliness of the space, like you're always brooming, you're vacuuming. How many floor obstructions can you get rid of? Those things that have those awkward footprints, and that's what you want to get rid of. Just keep going around your studio and thinking like, what's obstructing me from that recovery time of cleaning up. The 4th and final point is actually a lot of points. Lighting helps. You can't have a bright enough studio. I know some people, it's a little, like if you're filming YouTube videos, it's a little more cinematic actually to have shadowy lighting. It definitely looks cooler. But in reality, when you get right down to the nitty gritty, having the brightest, most even light possible, it's just safe. You can see exactly what you're doing. If you're cutting to a line, if you're doing something, the precision that happens in woodworking, you need to be able to see it. Otherwise, you can't do it. You can't have your hand and the line stuck in a shadow. Lighting makes everything safe. And the next part of this is it's just recovery time. You got to almost think of yourself as like a professional athlete or something. It's like that's what separates a professional athlete from an amateur athlete, is that how quickly they can recover. When you're training, you're overexerting your muscles a little bit. You're not crippling yourself. You're overexerting and you're straining your body, and then you're healing as quickly as possible, and you're recovering, and then you're stronger, and then you're moving on, right? So a workshop is like that recovery time. How fast can you clean up after a job? When you're creating dust and debris and doing all kinds of stuff, yes, that happens, and I make massive messes, but I'm always thinking about how quickly can I get back up and running in a clean, organized state where I can work safely, where I know where my tools are, when I can grab everything quickly. So again, it's part of that recovery time. How fast can you recover, right? Think of all the things that are obstructing you from that recovery. I'm sure you have this too. This is why workshops are set up like this in the first place. You have wall-mounted tools are much better than all the tools on the ground, obviously. If you had to have every single tool you had on the ground, you'd be dead in the water. And I was there a couple months ago, and it was not fun at all. And the genius of a woodworking shop is actually, it's one of the most efficient places to work, because you have, think of like your kitchen at home, right? You reach in a drawer and you want to get a utensil or a spatula or something. And it's kind of, unless you're very well organized and unless you're professional, it's usually buried under some stuff and you got to fish around for it. In a woodworking shop, you typically have a pegboard or some kind of wall-mounted system where you have a single layer of tools. There's nothing behind this. I don't have to take this off to get anything. I can just grab my tool. There's a place for it. I'm putting it back afterwards, and it's very quickly to reset, recovery, right? You're very quickly getting back into that initial state where you can start working again or start working on something, a new process, and you've reset into where you know everything is. So take advantage of that aesthetic and organize everything in single layers, follow that creed, and that's half the battle right there. Now let's talk about what I see as the three sort of levels of cleanliness. The first level, and this is usually all I ever do, is say you've just done a project, your shop's a mess, you've all your tools and your screwdrivers, and this is coated in dust, and there's debris, and there's all your cutoffs are all over the floor, right? So the first level is just that cursory stage where you want to get everything functionally clean, optically clean. And that's usually actually all I do, and I just continue on. It creates problems later on. So it's just that cursory stage is stage one. Stage two is, unfortunately, you're getting into deep cleaning. You're really examining, going a little bit deeper into the corners and beyond the basic functionality. And maybe you even go to a machine level, like you're going to clean your blades. You're going to take off your blades. You're going to clean them. You're going to dust off all the innards of your machine. You're going to oil everything. So you're going to do that machine maintenance, and you need to do that. Otherwise, eventually you're just going to get physically stopped from doing your work. Your blade's going to get so gummy that you're going to have to stop cutting and actually deal with it. But that's something I wish I could do it every day, but then I'd just be cleaning all the time. Now, the third stage is everything's clean and your machines are well maintained, and then it's kind of like a purging stage where you really gotta go. It helps to get drunk to do this, actually, if you like to drink, but not really drunk. But the third stage is really just examining everything. So I've got everything clean, and I can think about what I need. I'm gonna look at everything that's collected under here that I missed in a cursory stage, and I'm gonna say, do I really, am I using this? Is this just like something from 5 projects back that just didn't work out, and am I gonna need it in the future? And if not, then throw it out. Do I need all this stuff to be here in this station? Can I store anything? Can I stash anything? Can I get rid of anything? You've got to always be thinking of what can I get rid of, basically. And you don't want to be a hoarder. You want to get rid of things because that creates a vacuum, and you want to create vacuums, basically. You want to create a sense of just not having enough. And that actually, for me, that's really stimulates my creativity. There's nothing like just getting rid of a lot of stuff, and it forces you to, like, it just creates that like will to fill the space again. And that's very creative. That's what it's all about. It gets the job done, right? The point of this video was, why is cleaning your workshop such a touchy subject? Why is it so touchy? Why is everybody so worked up about it? And I want to hear from you in the comments. Please educate me as to why you work. What's the cleanliness level or environment of your shop? And why does it stimulate you? Why do you have it like that? And I'm just so fascinated from an anthropological and just talking to other artists' point of view as to why you are the way you are, and why your shop, why you built this, your church or your cathedral the way that you did. How does it stimulate you? So yes, I'm really looking forward to hearing all that stuff. Until next time.